Alright, the arm bone's connected to the whatever bone. So, chasing one thing led to another. So last time we were looking at, the Nazis. And the Nazis led us to strange fruit hanging on a tree. How these druids are actually in control, and these different nations that pretend to be civilizations that we started. That is literally what's going on. And I'm saying literally because we're reading this information out of literary books, literature. So, to make things even more fun, we ended up going into Jeremiah chapter 10 and briefly discussing Christmas and discussing Jesus for like the 17th time. But it's interesting, the more times you highlight something, the more stuff you find. So after I turned the camera off last night at 3 in the morning, I never went to bed. So now we're gonna go down this path, because what we call Jesus Christ, the Romans taught us it was Serapis Christus, a different version. The Bible teaches us that this character has a different name. It's Jesus. Now, the name that is, how should I say, hinted to in the Bible, the one that cutteth the tree out of the forest and blah blah blah, the work of the axe, the work with the workman with the axe. This alludes to Jesus. Now we're going to read more about Jesus, and you're not going to believe where this ends. It's really funny because it ends on the Father, not the Son. Hammer that away. Now right there, I've already told you the answer, and I've highlighted the answer with a pun. Alright. So, again, we started in Germany, and that one thing led to another. And that led to strange, forgot an R, strange fruit hanging in the tree. Make sure. Yeah, I spelled it right the first time. I don't know why I'm just second guessing everything. Alright, so that one's done. Now, persecution of black people in Germany. Now, excuse me. Now, they didn't kill you in Germany. They pushed you aside and marginalized you, while black people in Germany were never subject to mass extermination, as in the cases of the Poles that are mixed with the black people, the Jewish people that are mixed with the real Jews, the black people, and the Romani, which are mixed with the Jews. They were still considered by the Nazis to be an inferior race. So the Nazis already know this Bible says that they are the children of God, and the Nazis are still considering them an inferior race. These are men that think they can suit up into war and go face to face against God. The Nazis felt that they were an inferior race. Not races, an inferior race, the quote-unquote black people, All right, they're still not giving you your identity here. And along with Romani people, were subject to the Nuremberg laws under supplementary decree. Which means that they could sterilize you forcibly. All right, so let's move on. We had gotten to Isus. And as we scrolled through Isus, we had learned about different things. We had learned about the pillar of the boatman. He's betrayed, that Isus is betrayed, cutting branches from the trees. When we scroll all the way down, when we scroll down here in this commentary on Lucian, we learn human victims were sacrificed to Isus being tied to a tree and flailed. All right, now we showed on Google Images, we took the time to show the whipping post. Come on, keep up with me. See, it already knows what I want to type. So, go to images. I don't know why they show a handbag when it has to do with whipping posts. This is an act of racism. This is where they tied us. Alright. You know the actions that took place after this. They beat us into submission. You know, they show you now, and they dictate white people being put in these. And you know that's not how it happened in reality. Here you can see a quote-unquote black man, or a colored man, or a melanated man, with all these white or Caucasian people enjoying this. Alright, so we will go back. Now let's start the learning. Alright, so victims were sacrificed being tied to a tree and flailed. So do you think anybody ever died tied to the whipping post and being beaten? Where do you think that these Caucasians got this idea from, of beating their slaves like this? They got it from their Druid history. Everybody knows their history except for the Negro. As we scroll down, it makes statements saying there's no evidence that he meaning Isus, was a Celtic Jehovah, or a member with Tuatis or Tarnaeus of the Pan-Celtic triad. When we scroll back up, it says, as well-known sections of Lucan's Bellum Seville talks about the gory sacrifices offered to the triad of Celtic deities, Tuatis, Jesus, who is Isus, and Tarnaeus. So, when we scroll back down, this comment that's highlighted is a lie. It's just a bold lie. In fact, we do find this Celtic Jehovah. When we go into Neo-Druidism, it says that there's another name. There's a revilist called Lolo Morganwg. Alright? Now, I can't help what his name is. I'm just reading it. Alright, so when we look at what he has to say, he tells us that he identifies Isus with Jesus on the strength of the similarity of their names. He also linked both of them with Hugadarn, writing both Yu and Huan are no doubt originally identical with Jesus or Heus of Lactantis and Jesus of Lucan, described as gods of the Gauls. The similarity of the last name to Aisu Welsh is Jesus is obvious and striking. This identification is still made in certain New Druid circles. Modern scholars consider the resemblance to be coincidental. Okay, so if we type in, paste, solar deity. Let's look at solar deity. Alright, now here you have continent and nations that have their own solar deities. So Africa, the whole continent, has a solar deity. The Aztec mythology, it's not a mythology, the Aztec had a solar deity before they were wiped out or pushed into slavery. They were defeated through war. The remaining were sent north. In the book Mystery of the Mexican Pyramids, 7 million Aztecs were sent north to build the railroads. You know and I know that blacks and browns built the railroads. You didn't know and I didn't know they called people my tone Chinese. There were no Chinese here building the fucking railroads. It was light-skinned black men and dark-skinned black men that were what? Forced into what? The prison system through the laws that were created. Now, Aztec, Buddhism, Chinese, Baltic, Christianity. So we're going to go to Christianity, and it says Sol Evicus. And Jesus Christ in comparative mythology. So comparative mythology is the examination of narratives of the life of Jesus. No, it's mythology, remember, of the life of Jesus and the Christian Gospels, the traditions and the theology as it relates to the Christian mythology and other religions. Now, while you don't understand this too much, but Mithras and Jesus are the fucking same. While you were upstairs worshiping one version of the sun god, and you were told shit like he died for your sins, the elite were downstairs worshiping the same sun god but with a different name. One day he shall destroy the world. And they were worshiping so that they wouldn't be destroyed. Yet they were building an empire that he could destroy. It's like a child building a play set so his toys can run all over and destroy the playset. Same thing you see in movies. Same thing you see in animation. Children destroying playsets. That's all it truly really is. So, let's go back to Isus before we get... Now, from Isus, it starts talking about Hungardan. So let's go to Hungardan. So, Godarn, or Godarn, he the mighty, is supposed Welsh legendary figure. So it's not an actual, it's not even legend, it's not even fucking mythology. It's supposed. I suppose he is from Welsh, or I suppose he came with the Welsh people when they came over. That's what they're fucking saying right there. That's why supposed is used in the boldest part of the sentence. The beginning. This is where you get the definition. He is supposed Welsh legendary figure who appeared in several of the series of Welsh triads. Alright. So, Godarn is a supposed Welsh figure, a legendary figure, who appears. Again, you don't put legendary figure and then supposed in the same sentence unless you're really saying it's not true. Now, I'll get to the why it's not true part. And it's just the name that's not true. And again, I'll get to that. He appears in several series of Welsh triads. Now, what are Welsh triads? I think they're poems. Welsh triads, literally triads of the Isles of Britain, are groups of related texts in medieval manuscripts which preserve fragments of Welsh folklore. So the poems. Do you see that right there at the side? That's the triad right there. Those are three deities. When you deal with Islam, you have Allah. Allah is murdered by one of his three triad daughters. Al-Lat is the daughter that murders him. Hence, when Muslims pray to Allah, they are praying to the victor of the circumstance, which is the daughter. So they're praying to a feminine god. You can check this out in Time Life books, and this is shown through archaeology of I can't remember what it's called that shows you. We'll get to it sometime, because all this leads us right back into that book anyway. Alright, so he is produced by a Welsh antiquarian, historian basically, and literary forger. He's a forger. He creates forgeries. Okay? Now watch this again when we go to Welsh triads. What are they? They're groups of related texts in medieval manuscripts. So medieval manuscripts have no way of being proven credible or not. Okay? So these triads, which Lolo put forth as medieval works, present you Gadarn, as a culture hero, a hero for the Welsh people of the ancient Britons, which are the Welsh, who introduced ploughing. However, it is not known that the triads, like all of the so-called third series of triads, were fabricated by Lulu. So it's not known if all of them are fabricated, a complete fucking lie, fabricated by Lulu himself. Now, this does not mean that Isus is fabricated. There's fucking stone monuments, 2 different stone monuments and 1 poem to the guy I talked about in the Bible, Jeremiah chapter 10. Now, the name Gadarn is fabrication. Gadarn is someone that's made up, but they take the made up character from another character. Just like I explained to you, I believe righteous Jesus is really James, and Moneybags Jesus is Mono Beelzeus. Now, later I'll show you who Gadarn really is. So fabricated, he's fabricated by Lulu himself. Lulu, or however his name is pronounced. Morganwg. The name Gadarn earlier appeared in a Welsh translation of a French romance about Charlemagne. Right back to the Roman Empire. Still, Lulu's version of Gadarn was taken up to the 20th century by poet Robert Graves, who associated him with other Celtic figures since he has been popular among neo-pagans. Now, we just saw, what, neo-druids, the new druids. Now we have neo-pagans, the new pagans. Now, the origins, the name Gadarn first appears in some kind of bullshit that's hard to pronounce, a Welsh adaptation of the 12th century romance, blah, 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 still revolves around Charlemagne. Okay? In this story, part of the literary cycle known as the Matter of France. Now, this is mildly important. The Matter of France is a collection of work that tells the history of France. There is a Matter of France, a Matter of Britain, and a Matter of Rome. Very interesting. Gadarn, Hugo, or Yagun Lefort, is the French, right? is Emperor of Constantinople. So this guy is ruling Constantinople and an enemy of, look how they spell it, Charlemagne. So when you look for Charlemagne's name, you're also going to find Charlemagne's name pronounced in history or spelled in history like that. Because we're dealing with, at this point, what we're highlighting is European people groups. So they're all going to speak English and forms of English. That's why Lulu's name is so funky, but you can still see Morgan. He's got a female's first name for a last name. Feminine. So, Charlemagne, you can see it clearly reminds you of champagne. You know, you only drink champagne at a celebration unless you're a woman. Women drink champagne, the bubbly, more than men. It is a delightful drink. It's not a hard drink that a man would have. So, as you can see, Charlemagne's name is feminized too. After Seer, you see, Seer, pig. Seer la Main, animal mane. His wife tells him his valor is overshadowed by this mythical person, right? Ugaran, who's really the Emperor of Constantinople. Now, the Emperor of Constantinople actually exists. His name ain't Ugaran. The Emperor of Constantinople at the time is Charlemagne's enemy. Charlemagne is France, and Constantinople is Rome. What was Nero's city? Nero built himself a city, right? And what is it? Is this the right book? Here we go. Stoddard's Lectures on Constantinople, Jerusalem, and Egypt. Rome, or Arabia, because Constantinople, even though it's got Roman people there, is still Arab. Alright. After Charlemagne's wife tells him that his valor is overshadowed by the Emperor of Constantinople, Charlemagne sets off on a pilgrimage, Christian pilgrimage, to find the Emperor of Constantinople. With the aid of his knights, he bests his adversary and returns to his wife triumphant. Alright, so there you have that. Now, when you go into this, Lulu Morganwig and later use, 7 of Morganwig's third series of triads mention Ugaran. So every time he talks about the Emperor of Constantinople at the time, he's talking about Ugaran. Here, U is presented as a cultural hero who led the ancient Britons to Britain, see, they're Britons before they reach Britain and rename it, from their previous home, Defobarni. Alright, now if you look up Defobarni, it says, glossed as Summerland. Alright, so Defobarni does not have a clickety-click. So what we do, oops, sorry. Oh shit, gave away too much shit. Oh, giving it all away. Giving it all away, hold on. So what we do is we go to, let's go to this Jesus one and just get another one. And they say that the Welsh came from a place called Defodardy. Alright, so you look up Defodardy and it leads you back to Ugardan, right? Leads you back to legendary kings of Britain. So this is where it takes you back. It takes you into a circle, right? So let's go back to Ugadardi, and then when we click on him, we're going to click on Summerland. So it's glossed as Summerland. What is Summerland? It is the name given to Theosophilus, whatever, fucking theologist, man. Wiccans and some earth-based contemporary. Deals with neo-paganism, major work. Summerland is the pinnacle of human spiritual achievement in the afterlife. So they believe Summerland is where you die and go to. All right? So that's very interesting to understand. They think that Summerland is a place you die and go. All right? Now, let's look at Taprobana. Now, we all know that Greeks had rumors of that there were places in the earth that could lead to the underworld. Now, Taprobana was the historical name for an island in the Indian Ocean. All right. Now, this island is very, very mysterious. Reports of the island's existence were known before the time of Alexander the Great and inferred from Pliny in the treatise De Mundo, supposed to have been written by Aristotle, who died in 322 BC. But according to others, such as Chrysippus of Stoic, died in 208 BCE, the island is stated to be as large as Britain. The name was first reported by Europeans, two Europeans, by Greek geographer Megasthenes around 290. There's no mention of the island by Herodotus. It appears delineated is later adopted by Ptolemy in his own geographical treatise to identify a relatively large island south of continental Asia. Taprobana may be Greek rendition of Tamrapani or Tambapani, copper-colored. You get that? Copper-colored. Now, as soon as you read that, doesn't that remind you of the copper-colored people? And that's the first thing pops in your head, right? Of course it does. Of course it does. Because you're thinking like me. Alright, so the description of one of the ancient ports of Sri Lanka. So, for some time, the exact place to where this island was, Summerland, the Isle to the Dead, exact place to which the name referred remained uncertain, and likely possibilities was Sri Lanka, as Ptolemy's map claims, Sumatra, as the birthplace of Enrique of Malacca, and it also had the likely possibility of a phantom island. What is a phantom island? A phantom island is a purported island that appears on maps for a period of time, sometimes centuries, during recorded history, but was later removed after it was proven not to exist. What? So this is an island that has been on maps sometimes for centuries, and then when people go look for this fucking place, they can't find it. Now listen to this. Phantom Island usually stems from reports of early sailors exploring new realms. This is where the goddamn Welsh people came from. Are you fucking listening? Some people may have been purely mythical, such as the Isle of Demons. Others arose through mistranslation of actual islands. So what is the Isle of Demons? Isle of Demons is a legendary land once believed to exist on Curapan Island. So now it's an isle that used to be on an island in Newfoundland in Canada. Now we all know from the recent studies that in Canada, as the water fluctuation rises and sets, that land bridges are discovered and ice bridges are discovered. And because the water rises and it sinks, what is this? Global warming, it rises. Global cooling, it sinks. Then they can see these islands. or these holes in the earth. This is big, people. This is so fucking big. Alright, so, you know, Phantom Islands. Did I just see the word mirage? I'm sorry, I thought I saw the word mirage. Okay, here. You have Thule. Thule was discovered. Thule was perhaps accidentally discovered in the 4th century by BC by Greek explorer Pletharius, but was lost and then later re-identified by ancient explorers and geographers either as Sheet Land, Iceland, Scandinavia, or as non-existent. How can you identify something that does not exist? These entrances into the earth exist and you're not supposed to know about them. If I type in hollow earth, see these giant fucking holes? That's as big as a continent. Alright, so here, if you go into images, I don't ever do this on Yahoo. I don't like Yahoo images. I don't like when you click the image, it takes up the whole screen. Here, this is what they claim it looks like from the globe position. This is what they claim it looks like. So, you know where that's Egypt right there. They said they claim there's another hole right there. Not only in the North Pole, they claim there's a hole right there. So, you know, you're never going to see a flat Earth and the actual holes, but you'll always see their theory, all right? And you'll always see CGI of Earth from space. Now, if you I don't know if I try that. Let me try hollow flat Earth. There you go. It's a fucking real plane. No, it's a helicopter flying over the hole. That shit look flat. It don't look rounded, do it. That's a real picture. That's what a real picture looks like, and that's what the cavern really looks like. That's one of many. I hate how that shit takes up the whole screen. Then you gotta wait for it to cycle back. Now this is one of the famous maps. Now, you see how they show you in this map that the Earth is concaved at the North Pole, and then I don't know what the opposite of concaved is, because it makes the cone right there. It makes a cone concave, and then it starts up again. All right. So this is an infamous picture. This is by Professor Orlando Ferguson, Hot Springs, South Dakota. It's got the four angels of the wind in the four corners. All right, so yeah, I'm not going to follow up on that too much of that. So let's go back to this. So now this mythical person, Hungarana, brought these mythical people from a mythical fucking place. Right? Alright, so the third series of triads were I intentionally accepted as authentic. Excuse me, initially accepted as authentic, and were published in the influential collection known as Myverian, whatever, archaeology of Wales, whatever it says. However, they are now known to be forgeries created by Lolo himself. Lolo wrote further about you in his Bardas, or Badass, supposedly an ancient collection of Bardic lore, where he identifies you with the Gauls god Isus and with Jesus. So it's going to get funny here in a second. Okay? So in the 20th century, Robert Graves accepted Lula's version of Hugaran and much of the rest of his work, and further identified you as a Welsh horned god, a variant of Cernunnos. Now, let's go back. Let's go back to Isus. Now, when we're reading Isus, it sits here and tells us about where is it at? The three horn. Here we are. All right. M. Reinach applies one formula to the subject of the altars, the divine woodsman, as it's explained in what? Jeremiah chapter 10. The axeman. The heathen axeman. Use the tree of the bull with the three cranes. The whole, meaning the bull and the three cranes, represents some myth unknown to us. But M. de Abars finds in it some allusion to events in the Chichilian, or whatever the hell that word is. So we're going to look up that word again, because we had that yesterday. The Chichilian saga. In the imagery, the bull and the tree are perhaps both divine. And if the animals, like the images of the bull, is three-horned, then the three cranes, anus, crane, may be a rebus. Now we looked at what rebus is. It's a picture. It's what do you say? It's like graffiti. It's a picture being put in, and it's an illusional device that uses pictures to represent words or parts of words. Alright? So, for example, in its basic form, 3 salmon, 3 fish are used to denote a surname salmon. More sophisticated example of the rebus is the Bishop Walter Leihart of Norwich, consisting of a stag is a deer, a hart is a red deer, lying down. Lie, heart, lie heart. So when you see the picture of the deer, at that point, you're not going to call it a deer. Everybody called them stags or harts at that time. Alright? So, it is the picture formulating the sentence. Word, picture, word, then you have a meaning. You have an equation. Alright, so he believes one formula, one equation to do with the tree of bull and 3 cranes. Alright? So, the divine bull is the 3 horns and the 3 cranes, blah, 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 blah. Rebus, the 3 horns, the trichiaeus. We can't find that. We already tried to look that up. But, or more probably, the 3-headed trichonios. Now, when we look this word up, this word is searchable. Now, trichonius goes back to Isus, or if you just scroll down, it says cerebrus. And what is cerebrus? It's the 3-headed dog. Here you have 3 caranos. Well, what is a carano? I hate that. It's not going to let me copy off the damn search engine page. Alright. So, Cerebrus is the guardian of Hades, was a dog with 3 heads. Alright? So, real quick, let's type in, where's the word with the K? K-A-R, Krinos. Oh, that's K, that's spelled wrong. It should be K-A-R, what is it? E-N-O. It should be K-A. See, that says Karen when you go back here and start looking, we're going to skip the Carinos part, because Carinos and Cernunnos has the same syllables. Alright, so we were at Isus again, and this name comes up, and when this name comes up, Cerebrus comes up, the three-headed dog, the guardian of Hades. There's no IES. It doesn't say Hades. It says Hades. 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 So, Cerebrus, and then we see Cern, Nun, Nos. Cern, Un, Nos. Alright. So, the three-headed animals leads us to Cernunnos. Alright, when we scroll down, we don't get that from here, do we? We get it from the other one, don't we? Here we go. Gotta keep reading. So, supposedly, an ancient collection of bardic lore where he identifies you with the Gaulish god of Isus, and with Jesus, the 20th century English author Robert Graves accepted Lulu's version of Hungaran and much of the rest of his work and identified him as a Welsh horn god, a variant of Cernunnos. Now, Cernunnos and this thing, the three-headed dog, they match up. Here, let's get rid of this. This is copper-colored land that leads to hell, Phantom Islands, and the Isle of Demon. Those are no longer needed. Cernunnos is the conventional name, given. So this is not the entity's real name. Hence, when the Bible talks about this entity, he does not give it a name. The Bible, Jeremiah's writing, calls it the woodmen, the axemen of the forest. Cernunnos is a conventional. Do you see how they forget the word cern? Look at sir, like good evening, sir. Cernun or cernun, cernunios, cernunnos is the conventional name given to the Celtic studies to depictions of the horned god, sometimes referred as Hern, Cern, Hern the hunter. There is no name for the. They have named him Cernunnos. They have also named him legendarily or mythologically Hern the hunter. He is of Celtic polytheism. Poly is many. Poly is many. So mono is one. Polytheism, poly worship, poly belief system is many. The Celtics had a triad, meaning three or more. Isus is part of the triad. He's the one wearing the horns. The bull, the divine bull, is three-horned. The dog, Tricherinos, which is Cerebrus, is three-headed. Cernunnos is the horned god. I doubt it's going to be two horns. I got a feeling it's going to be three horns. I got a feeling it's going to be three horns. Of the Celtic polytheism. The name itself only attested once. On the 1st century Pillar of the Boatman. Well, now the Pillar of the Boatman done come up twice. Because Isus is on the Pillar of the Boatman. imagery. Statues of Jesus on which his name appears are the pillar of the boatman. Okay, well, there's pillar of the boatman twice. First century, the name itself attests only once. In the first century, the pillar of the boatman, but depictions of the horned or antlered figure, often seated with his legs crossed, or i.e. Indian style. Not his legs crossed like Sharon Stone in that movie where she shows that animal, but his legs crossed, seated, Indian style, and is often associated with animals and the holding or wearing of torques. Okay, now's a good time to say, what the hell's a torque? I have the torque open down here, don't I? Yeah, I have the torque open down there. It's important that I take that one down there. Modern paganism and the torque. And okay, first let's look at the pillar real quick. Briefly, we're going to come back and read it. Here's the pillar. Anybody know what it is? See it? Real quick? Real quick? Okay, let's go down. I'm going to tell you right now. Here's modern paganism. When you look at modern paganism, what do they show you in modern paganism? What do you see? Do you see the wooden totem pole with a penis? Does anybody see the penis on the totem pole? I'm not saying that to be perverted. You're looking at a tribal people. A people that wanted cities, that are regressing back to tribal ways. You see their halo right there? The haloed woman? Bowing below the penis? Folded legs? Do you see the mangled eyeball? One eye good, one eye bad. One eye good, one eye bad. Let me get you close. I don't want you to think I'm bullshitting. You can see the pupil carved in the eyeball to the right. You can see no pupil in the eyeball to the left. The eyeball to the left is slightly sagging, as if it's a patch. If you can't see a pupil and the eyeball sagging, that's called a patch. Now we're getting closer to who it really is. The penis god with horns and a patch over his eye. Now, he likes to wear torques. Likes to deal with shit with torques. What is a torque? Where the fuck torque go? Right there. Torque, also spelled torque, also spelled torque, is a large, rigid, or at least stiff neck ring in metal. It's jewelry. It's a freaking necklace that's that thick. You see the dying gall you see around his neck? He's got that big non-slave collar. That's jewelry. They put a torque around your ass, but it was a slave collar. They put a torque around themselves, and it's beautiful. It's considered jewelry. Elegant. This is a torque. 2 uncleaned Bronze Age twisted bar torques with flared cylinder terminals, as often found folded up with bracelets. So a torque and bracelets. So that's a necklace and wrist chains. That's jewelry. So Synonos is always often associated with animals and holding or wearing torques. Or he's either holding the torque, he can't get it around his neck, or around his wrist. See the torque in his hand right there? What is he going to do with that torque? The guy's got fucking horns. He looks just like the deer, but he walks upright. He's going to put that torque around the deer, and he's going to call that deer his pet. If you go out to the wilderness and you see a deer with a fucking torque around its neck, you know this fucking thing is close. And again, I understand that we're talking about legend and mythology, but I'm not joking. Nothing is known about the god from literary sources, and details about his name, his followers, or the significance in Celtic religion are unknown. Well, the Celts started with the Welsh, who come out of the sea from an island that mysteriously disappears when the water recedes. When the water rises. And the island's got a hole that leads to hell. So, I can tell you all kinds of shit about them and their god. Speculative interpretations identify him as god of nature or fertility. Alright. His name identifies with the pillar of the boatman. Blah 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 blah. Carnos. Carnage. The name has been compared to a defined epithet of Carn Onos. Carnonos in the Celtic inscription. And the inscription's called it's in Greek writing. Look at this. It's Celtic. It's on Celtic land, Greek writing, and it's at Montagnac Herald. And the Gaul, the Gao, Latin, the Gallic adjective is written horned. So one person wrote his name in Greek because the Greeks were calling on fallen. This is how they built that empire. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like in the pillar of the boatman. That's what the horns look like. And see, he's around his horns. He's throwing the damn torques around himself, like he's playing a game of horseshoe. Proto-Celts, blah blah blah, reconstruct their Cernonos, where CERN built in France, right? Isn't this starting to make sense to you? Please tell me all these words. Carn or horn. See, carn means horn. Right there, it tells you. It doesn't tell you. In Proto-Indo-European, carn, K-N-K-R-N-O, or K-R-N, means horn. Take the K and imagine it's basically an H. Harm. Carnonos. Appears in both Gaulish and Galatian branches of continental Celtic. Alright, let's scroll down a little bit. Still, Cernonos occurs only in the pillar of the boatman. This is the only time anybody was calling on him and knew his name. God labeled Cernonos. Pillar of the boatman is depicted with stag antlers, deer antlers. You know how big deer antlers get, right? In their early stage of annual growth. Both antlers have torques hanging from them. Let's go down. Cernonos is the Celtic iconography. Forget it. Is often portrayed with animals, in particular the stag, and also frequently associated with rammed horned serpent. Have you ever fucking even heard of that? The horned serpent, ram horned. Ram's horns go back and curl, right? So they're telling you that in their depictions that there is a serpent that exists that horns go back like that. Didn't we just see the same brown drawing showing you the canoe that the type of canoe that they could use to cross the ocean? Well, this picture is from fucking Utah. This picture is from this side of the world, people. This side of the world. Why, you think it's all bullshit? It happened here too. Alright. So I'm getting bored with reading, so I'm getting to the point where I'm just going to tell you who this motherfucker is. So we're going to go to Herne the Hunter. Oh, wait. Affleck. I mean, Affleck, whatever the hell it is. Affleck is a lake monster. That was something that came up too. Now, the wild hunter, right? Now, this is where we're going to find the wild hunt. Okay, so Cernunnos is linked with Hern. Remember, Cern the hunter, Hern the hunter, right? The first thing that they tell you. Horn god, Hern the hunter. So when we go to Hern the hunter, it opens up Hern the hunter. Now let's go back a little bit. And I've got them both opened up here. Now we're going to look at Hern the hunter. And we're going to look at the wild hunt. Okay? Now, Hern the hunter is what they believe is the leader. In English folklore, Hern the hunter, which is Cernunnos, is a ghost associated. Now listen, this all started with the fucking Welsh people coming from remember I closed those islands out? They came from an island that people say do not exist, but it leads to hell. Let me go back to it. Trabana, Summerland. Here. Trabana. Island in the Indian Ocean that they can't fucking find. It's a phantom island. For some time, the exact place to which the name refers remains uncertain. The likely possibilities include a fucking phantom island. It's also called Summerland. The series that was fraudulent, but later in our time, modern people know it's fraudulent, look back at it and say, wait, this isn't fraudulent, this is actually real, because there's been part of history that's been cut out. And the people in the Middle Ages that assumed that this was fraudulent didn't know about the part that was cut out. Now, the occult hero who led ancient Britons to Britain. Alright? Brighton. What is a Brighton? If you glow in the fucking dark, you're bright, right? If you're a fucking ghost, or if you're, let's go to Hern. If you're a fucking ghost, he's a ghost associated with Windsor Forest in Great Park in the English country of Berkshire. He has antlers upon his forehead. We're talking about the same person. Now, this entity will get on a steed. Like our headless horseman, he's not headless. He's got a head with fucking stag antlers. Now, this fucker was witnessed by Edomites. Here's Hern, or Cern, or Cernunnos, with his steed, hounds, and owl. Now he's got hounds running with him. See the hounds down there? And see the hound in the water? And somewhere he's got an owl, and you can see him. There's his owl. And you can see, this is like a dentist office when they put the portrait on the top, and you got to find all the shit in the portrait. See him blowing his horn? Now, he blows the horn for the wild hunt. Right? And he's down here leading this motherfucker. Like in the wild. We'll get back to that. Listen. This is observed by Duke of Richmond and the Earl of Surrey in Harrington Ainsworth, Windsor's Castle, illustrated by George Cruikshank in 1843. Alright, so where did the Earl of Surrey live? Did he live in the 1840s? Well, they're only going to show us Henry. 19. Wait. So that's 1800. And this is 1843. And he lived in 1500s. So they drew what he saw, what he depicted, hundreds of years later. It wasn't right away. Henry lived in 1500s as well. Alright? So these guys saw this in the 1500s, and it was depicted in the 1800s. The first literary mention of Hern is in Shakespeare's The Merry Wives of Windsor. Scroll down, the goes to Hearn's oak. Now, have you ever heard of Odin's oak tree, where Odin hangs himself and he trades his one eye for knowledge? Let's look back at Torque. Nope. There it is. One eye, penis out. Summerland, Cernonos, Pillar, Hearn. Alright, so when we start scrolling down, they give descriptions of it. Look, I'm not in the mood for a ghost story, so I don't give a shit about all these descriptions. I truly don't. When we get to Hearn's oak, it starts telling where Hearn has a oak tree, the supposed location. Now I'm sure if you read up here, you'll hear about the oak. Here, Hearn's oak, blah blah blah. He's seen riding a horse by his oak. This is the same thing with the headless horseman in Ichabod Crane. Same story, different places. So something is particular about the New England area here. And this is why so many ghost stories come out of there. This is generally believed the correct site from which the oak of Shakespeare's time was felled in 1796. Okay, so we have possible origins, blah 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 blah. Now here's where it gets kind of kooky. Now, the horn god, here we have Paleolithic origins and relationship with Celtic Cernonos. In his 1929 book, History of the Devil. Now, we've said he's got horns like a stag deer. And what do deer have? They have hooves. And when you look at a hoof, and you look up the definition of a hoof, you find out these are hooves, and down at the last sentence, it wants to tell you, oh no, it's not in hooves, is it? Where does it say? Long associated with the devil. Alright, hoofs leads to even-toed ungulates and cloven hoof. So let's go to cloven hoof. Cloven hoof. Cloven hoof has long been associated with the devil. How did I know that's right there? Because I have a folder over there where I'm studying the food laws, and this is one of the printouts. So I know exactly where it is on the page. Just like when I open most of these other pages, I know exactly what I'm looking for because I'm studying these things. While you're chasing pussy, while you're chasing vagina, while you're chasing penis, while you're chasing styles, I'm chasing knowledge. Knowledge isn't free. It costs time and patience. Now, back to Hearn. History of the Devil, the horn god of the West Hearn, R. Lowe Thompson suggests Hearn, as well as other wild huntsmen in Europe folklore, are all derived from the same ancient source. Citing Hearn may be cognate. You see that? Now, what the fuck does that mean? Cognate. Cognate me, since you didn't accept me hitting enter. What the fuck? What is... piece of shit. Let's go back. Let's open one. Cognate. Hit enter again. Cognate. Of the same or similar. Generically alike. The generic version. Let me show you this. Let me show you something. Watch this. Baphomet. Alright, so let's go to the images. This little fucker has hands, right? And dissolve and coagulate. I think it's funny he has coagulate there. And even though it's not the same word, it just reminds me of that. We're talking about horned deities, right? And cognate, the retarded version. Cognate of the Gaulish god deity Cernunnos, the same way the English horn is the cognate of Latin cornu. Grimm's Law for more detail on linguistic features. Now, when you go to Grimm's Law, you would think it had to do with Grimm's fairy tales and shit like that, but no. It has to do with the first Germanic sound shift or Rask rule. Whatever the fuck that means. And it has nothing to do with us because we don't speak German, so we're going to skip that. Because they're talking about the words that make the pronunciation of the beginning of Hern's name and Cernunnos' name. Okay, so some neo-pagans, such as Wiccans, accept Lowell Thompson's equation of Hern with Cernunnos, which they further connect to the Greek god Pan. Oh, look at this! Now it's all starting to make sense, right? So when we type in the Greek word for Israelite, it says Panites, right? Or Pan's focus. Let's say Pan is a devil, and the devil has focused on the Israelites to knock them off their ego block, their uppity block. We're God's children. We can worship other gods and do nothing wrong. That is Pan's argument against the Israelites, right? He's mad because he was created first. Hern, however, is localized figure, not found outside of Berkshire. Well, technically, you're right, but you're wrong, because there's all kinds of stag-horned deities. Or stag-horned gods. I'm going to type in deity. I spelled it wrong. Deity. Cernunnos from pipes up. Abaxtan. Stag, the horn god. Oval porcelain necklace. Horn god, pagan's path. Horn god Cernunnos. Or Abaxan. It's the same fucker. Pantheon. What? Cernunnos. They're in a polytheism, more than one. So they have a pantheon. Hern, god of the wild. Cernunnos, Abaxan. Same entity over and over again. I hope you're understanding this. Let's go to images. Some people think it's a guy running around in a deer suit. Why the fuck did they paint him with blue skin? You already know the answer to that. That shit pisses me off. See, I did spell deity wrong. I spelled deity. Fucking idiot. See, the bulb is a snowman. So, right. So here you have the generic version. Right? Now watch this. We go to L. L, deity. Hebrew. Right? There you have something completely different. Seated on a throne with lion's feet, wears conical horn headdress, a tunic, and a mantle, receives gifts from priest or king or lesser deity. Now, these two entities are not the same. When I type in horn god, L doesn't come up, does he? But L's images are of horned hat. Now, Cernunnos, his image is of antlers actually protruding from his flesh. Now, Anglo-Saxon. In the early Middle Ages, Windsor Forest came under control of the pagan Angles, or Anglos, who worshipped their own pantheon of gods, including Woden, whoa shit, who is sometimes depicted as horned, and whose Norse equivalent, Odin, rode across the sky at night, or whose fucking son rode across the sky as the sun chariot during the day. Alright, now we have the real fucking name. We don't have to see the Sononos or this or that, or Hernus or any of this shit, or the god of the hunt, or the hunt party leader. We know the oak tree that has to do with Cernonos, what has to do with Hun Garden. We know this oak tree has to do with Odin, hanging himself from a tree for knowledge, losing his eye as a result. He's the one that made the sacrifice. Europeans come out with vast books of knowledge to retrain the world, to lie here, tell some truth there. This is their God that came through for them. Do you see the little Asian sitting there, half naked, with the halo? Remember in Egypt, she's there too? This is the big secret. This is what they've been hiding from you. These are deities, 3 gods, 3 brothers that separated and went to 3 different nations to conquer. We know them by a bunch of different names. This one's focus is Odin. He has many names. He's been linked to the pillar of the boatman. Through one of his sons. I don't believe that Odin and Isus are the same. For one carries an axe and is called the Axeman, and one is the ghost of the forest. One rides the sky through the night, the sky through the day. This is irrelevant. That one's okay. This one's irrelevant. Close enough. That one's done. Odin's oak tree. Jägersil. See the egg? Egg drizzle. What is egg drizzle? Now, let's be perverted for a minute. Let's be perverted. Now, I'm not really wanting us to. I want to draw zil. What is eggs on a man? Remember, this is the same cat who takes the... Where's the picture? Where the hell did my picture go? I closed it out already. Bullshit. Recently closed. Torque. No, that's not it. I lost it. Savages, there it is. Lost that quick. Alright. So, again, you can see he's showing himself in this, what do they call it? Totem pole. In the totem pole, you see his phallic symbol, right? Phallic symbol comes with eggs that we call testicles, right? Now, here's the perverted part. When this process happens, remember down here it says he's the god of what? Fertility or nature. You knocking up your wife is fertility. You impregnating your wife is the course of nature. Alright? So, when he does, where's the S? He does this, and we look at the Jägersil tree. We've heard rappers talk about the term drizzle. Okay? And that's about as perverted as I want to get with this. Egg drizzle. That is semen, right? After one of these situations, right? This is what the name of the tree means. It's a mythical tree that connects the 9 worlds. Hence, we're all connected through sex. So, they tell you there's 10 chakras, right? But if you type in 9, I don't even know how to spell this. I forgot the K. I do it again. There. See, it says 7. Right? I'm going to type in 9. Because you already know, if you're dealing with 7, they go straight down. What's below the red if you're a male? What's above the orange if you're a female? If you're a male, you have 2 testicles down there. If you're a female, you have 2 egg pouches up there. Now, I don't study any of this shit. I don't even believe in any of this shit. This is their shit. I type in 9 chakras and the lunar calendar comes up. What the fuck does that even mean? I don't even want to know anymore. This is what it has to deal with. Alright? Compiled on the 13th century from earlier tradition sources. The Prosy Edda, written in the 13th century. 13. Alright? So, A-Z-E-N, Asian, Eurasian. Alright. I think we squeezed a lot out of this motherfucker. I think we squeezed a lot out of it. I would love to sit there and tell you I think Isus is Thor, but I don't. Cernunnos is definitely Odin. Hun Garden did not exist. Lolo used Yu Garden, a made-up folklore hero, which he got from the history of Odin. He used it to talk about the Emperor of Constantinople, who would have lived after Odin lived. That's how you know the two couldn't have been at this. Charlemagne has a death date. Excuse me. See that? 749. That's when that's when he's born. He died in 28. Excuse me, 42. 742. I believe he's born. And died in what? 728 or 628? It doesn't say, it just says 28. Whatever. Or was he? Oh, there we go. Born in 742, dies in 814. Alright? So he died less than 2,000 years ago. See how his image, Charlemagne's image, looks just like Nero's? Just another fat ass. See that Arab nose? You see that? See those fat ass lips? Yeah, you know it. They're going to show you white pictures of Charlemagne. When did white Europe take over Europe? It sure wasn't in the fucking 1800. It wasn't in 800. If black Europeans still have power in 1200, then that ain't a caucus member. So Hohengarin was somebody that was placed in the literacy the time that Lulu lived. So Lulu would have been writing him before the time he lived and after the time he lived. And that's the problem, because he took him out of chronological order when he fucking says he lives during a certain date and says Charlemagne defeats him. Now Odin lives at a completely different time. Right? He's one of the first to have lived. Let me find, there we go. Let's just do this. Odin Wikipedia. Alright. The Germanic mythology, Odin from Old Norse, is a widely revered god. In Norse mythology, whence most surviving information about the god stems, Odin is associated with healing, with death, both sides of the coin, with royalty, with the gallows, both sides of the coin, with knowledge, with battle, with sorcery, poetry, frenzy, and the runic alphabet, and is the husband of the goddess Frigg. The wider Germanic mythology and paganism, Odin was known in Old English as Woden. In Old Saxon as Wodan. And in Old High German as Wohoten. All stemming from the reconstructed Proto-Germanic theonym Wodenaz. Odin is a predominantly mentioned god throughout the recorded history of the Germanic peoples, from the Roman occupation of regions of Germania. Now, Germans can't be fucking Romans if Romans are occupying Germany. Through the tribal expansions of the migration period and the Viking Age. Odin continued into the modern period to be acknowledged in rural folklore in all Germanic regions. When it says all, it means all. This is why Santa Claus looks like Odin. References to Odin appear in place names throughout regions historically inhabited by ancient Germanic peoples. If they migrated there, then you find Odin's name there. And the day of the week, Wednesday, bears his name in many Germanic languages, including English. So when we say Wednesday and don't know what the hell it has to do with, it has to do with Wodensan, Wodansen, Wodensday, Wednesday. In Anglo-Saxon England, Odin is held a particular place in the euhemerized ancestral figure among royalty, whatever that means. It's an approach to the interpretation of mythology in which mythical accounts are presumed to have originated from real historic events or personages. That means they're telling you they believe Wooden is real. They believe he's so real, they have all this shit about him. Now, you can read up on him if you would like. In Old Norse text, Odin is given primacy over female beings associated with the battlefield. Do we live in an age where they just ripped open the battlefield and said, we're going to shove women into it? When we type in, when we go to YouTube and type in women raped in military, just to see what comes up. I have no idea. I've never typed this in. Raped in the military, woman's story of survival. Invisible War shines light on rape in the military. No abortions for raped military women. Women in World 2012, rape in the military, a first-hand account. So, how many pages of this do you think is going to go on with all these Facebook pages? 8 military women say they were raped. So we can do this all day. So Odin is given primacy. He's given first dibs over women that die on the battlefield. The Valkyries and himself oversee the afterlife location Valhalla. Right? Now this is what you need to know. I would not show you if you do not need to know. Where he receives as half of those who died in battle. He receives half of those who die in battle. And in a jar, while the other half are chosen for the goddess Phagea, for her afterlife location Volkvanga. Doesn't that sound like Volkswagen? No, field of the host. Army field. Field of the host of army. That's what it fucking means. Where he receives half of those and his wife receives the other half. Odin consults the disembodied. If you got chopped up in battle, he talks to you. Herb embalmed head of the wise being Mimir for advice. So he goes to he consults a disembodied herb embalmed head for the wise of the wise being Mimir. So there's somebody called Mimir that's just a head. Is the wise one, or the Mim. Look at that. A.E. Seer. We go back to Esus, right? Didn't they write that shit just like that? Like he's ether. He's part ether. Where is it? Aces. It's like that. It's close. I can smell it. I can smell it. I don't see it, but I can smell it. Alright, I know it's here. It's A-E-S-U-S. And yes, I see this one. A-I. There's another one though. There. A-E-S-U-S was found in England. Alright? So, that seems like something that they constantly do. Alright, we were over here, right? We were looking at Mim. This guy, right here. So there you could have another relationship with the AE, the way that's done. People don't, that's not something common. It's common among deities, but not among people. Alright, so let's wrap this up. Odin consults with the disembodied head, herb embalmed head of the wise being Mim, for advice during the foretold events of Ragnarok. Now, this is important. Odin is foretold to lead Ienjahar, the people were at his place on Valhalla. See, there's two places on Valhalla, in Ienjahar and Volkswagen, whatever, and they split it in half, and he'll lead his side in Ragnarok in the battle before being consumed by the monstrous wolf Fenrir. Now, you know Thor, you know Loki. Loki has a child, and it's this gigantic fucking wolf that's bigger than men. It's called the Fame Wolf. Genesis 6. Renowned Fame Wolf. Everybody knew about this wolf in the time. It's a gigantic wolf. And what does it do? It's to war with Odin again. Odin died. How did Odin die? Right. Alright. In later folklore, Odin appears to be the leader of the wild hunt. What did I just tell you? Look at that shit! I didn't even read all this. I didn't know I'd get a complete circle right there. Ow! The ghostly procession of the dead through the winter sky. Odin's particularly associated with charms and other forms of magic, for example, Old English and Norse text. Alright, so you need to know about Ragnarok. Ragnarok, I'll just read it first, and then I'm going to turn the camera around and laugh at you. In Norse mythology, Ragnarok is a series of future events. It's events that shall happen in the future. It is prophecy, including a great battle. It is a prophetic future event, a prophetic great battle, foretold to ultimately result in the death of a number of major figures, including the gods Odin, Thor, Tyr, Freyr, Heimdall, and Loki. Let me get this straight. Okay. Odin and all those people I mentioned live once. Those people came from the loins, the egg drizzle of Odin. So, Odin and his sons are going to rise from the dead. In the final prophecy, they're going to do battle with themselves and others, me and you. And then this giant fucking wolf's going to come and eat him, because it's always been prophesied to him. Why was it prophesied to him? Because he wasn't happy not knowing the future, so what he did was he hung himself by his foot. I believe it's by his foot. The hanging man card that these people use in their deck of bullshit. And so he lost an eye. He traded his visual sight for his intellectual sight. Beyond sights, whatever. So, this is how we know Ragnarok is the future prophecy of these things that lived and died, coming back to life to live for one battle and fucking die again. Whatever. I didn't write the shit. I'm reading it to you. I'm reading it to you because I saw a complete circle. And when I saw that circle, I was like, I know who that is. And when I said I know who that is, other stuff popped up and solidified that for me. And so, that's why I did this video. We've been chasing Isus for some time. Now, I can't prove that he's a relative. I think he's a relative. I can't prove he's Odin, but I don't think he's Odin. I can't prove that he's Thor, but I don't think he's Thor. I think he's a relative. I think he's more important than Odin. I think Isus is more important than Odin because Odin is not brought up in the Bible. Zeus, Hades, and Poseidon are brought up in the Ten Commandments. Their dominion, where they have domination, are brought up, but not their names. Isus is not brought up by name, but his dominion and the holiday that revolves around his dominion is brought up. His dominion leads back to this totem pole that's called the Pillar of the Boatman. Now, although mostly all totem poles that you see are cylindrical, circular, like this, the pillar of the boatman is blocks. Which begs me to point right at that Mecca cube. Because they're all worshiping wood and stone. Odin says carve up a tree, use one of the limbs as a penis. I mean, you saw it for yourself. It's pointing out at us. It's a tree that's been turned into disgusting shit. It's hard to look at. It literally is. I'm glad I have a penis. Because if I had a vagina, it would be hard for me to stare at that. I'd be like, why the fuck do you have that on screen? I have it on the screen because I'm trying to show you. We live in America. Every one of you have watched porn, so I don't want to hear anything about, oh, you put a dick on screen. I would say it wasn't real, it was just wood, but that just leads to another pun. Now again, we're adults. We can be serious about sex without trying to have sex with each other. We can discuss sex without trying to get in each other's pants. We can have adult topics that are taboo and move forward. Now, although I didn't make this plug fit into this socket, you can see they do fit. You can see this same entity is parading around history as a fucking ghost here, as this and that there. And you can see in his own prophetic writings, he is to be brought back to life. He already died. He is to be brought back to flesh to fight another battle where he shall be painfully ripped to pieces by a giant wolf. And when I say giant wolf, I'm not talking about a wolf that's 6 feet tall. They describe the wolf as, you'd think the wolf is the size of a bus. Everything was on screen. If you like this subject, you can teach this subject. All those things link to each other. You take $5 down to the library and you print out those pages and you staple them together and you take different color highlights and you highlight how they link to each other. And you can preach this to someone's face without cussing, without most of the perversion, without offending them. I don't see your face. I don't care if you're offended. My goal is not to offend you. It's to educate you. This is today's education, and I hope you learned something. Have a good day.